Cool.
Hello everyone, welcome to Going Rogue, my weekly Star Wars stream. Today is a very special episode because we have somebody special coming in on the stream. You might see it on Twitter. It was the first guest on Beyond the Schmodown, and I would like to please welcome the bandit, Ben Goddard. That's not Ben Goddard. That is
Hey!
There he is. I'm going to turn you down. You're a little loud.
Am I loud? Okay.
Oh no, on my
on.
end. I can turn you down. There we go. So, not a whole lot of news in the world of Star Wars. Let me see you. And thank you for everybody that's joining us. This is the most I've had in my stream in quite some times, and I guess I gotta have more people on.
Yeah, of course.
I like
come on anytime, bud.
Yeah, I like having other people on streams because it just adds another perspective on anything. And of course, guys, please start sending questions into Streamlab. Is up, streamlab.com/videos by Andrew1. Still working on getting that changed and all that. So, but yeah, there's maybe like two topics I wanted to talk to you about before we got deep dive your experience with Star Wars. Obviously, with everything, you can't avoid it.
Echoey?
Are you echoey?
That's what they're saying in the chat. I don't know.
Oh wait, there it is. I got you. There we go.
Got it? Okay.
Is that better? I think that's better for everybody. Go ahead and speak, because I think this happens all.
Check.
There it is. I think it's good. Yeah. I have two monitors now with you, and Nikki is in chat moderating. Yeah, she'll show up later on and pop her head in, just to say hi. But yeah, echoing is a huge mistake on my part all the time on the stream. It always happens. So
dude, same on mine. Like it's a part of life.
So let's get. I'm gonna just briefly touch on this because it's hard to avoid it in anything now with the whole Corona situation happening.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing that's affecting, especially around the realm of Star Wars, is probably the movie business. That big hit that they're taking with all the theaters closing off and everything. But I don't see it really affecting Star Wars that much, because there's no Star Wars movie on the horizon right now, so that's kind of a plus. But I think where this might help a little bit is streaming services are really benefiting now because all that big hit. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm wondering, because even before this happened, Obi-Wan got delayed, so I feel like that would have been the biggest hit for this.
And
they finished Mandalorian season 2, right?
Yeah, they already wrapped shooting.
Okay, so if they've done that, then maybe they'll put the editors and the special effects artists into overdrive and get it out in time, because Disney lost Mulan, it lost Black Widow, it's lost a lot, it lost their parks. Like Disney's in need of some income right now, and maybe we'll get Mandalorian by the summer or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, they've pushed a lot of movies that were out in theaters previously to streaming like really quick, just to counter that. I think another thing that you mentioned is Disney's hungry for money, and with all this, they had Mulan coming out. That was something that was supposed to help them out. But all these rumors with Apple, since Disney stocks has gone down, Apple's rumored to be out there for the hunt to purchase Disney.
I don't know, man.
I don't see it.
That's possibly $1 trillion deal.
Yeah.
Or $100 billion or because Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion, and they've turned that into the biggest profitable money-making machine. Whether you like the movies or not, you can't deny that they've all made a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Even Solo made a profit, wasn't as big as they wanted it to, and just it was a flop comparatively to other Star Wars movies, but just I can't even imagine what Disney as a company would sell with ABC ESPN, Marvel, like it's nuts.
And they just purchased Fox, so like
yeah, so Hulu's in there, like
yeah, it's a lot to handle. I don't see it happening, but it's just like it is a sliver of chance of happening. So that's I don't want to harp on this because it's I want to get away from all the I want this to be an escape from the Corona thing for everybody. I don't want to. So it's like that's we had to touch on it just briefly. So I just hopefully everybody's staying home, staying safe, and just
for sure
containing this thing as much as possible. I think and another thing that I wanted to touch on was I don't think did you get a chance to catch up on Clone Wars at all?
I did. I watched it last night.
Yes. What were your thoughts on this latest episode?
I like the Bad Batch, like even from the Tartarovsky Clone Wars, like that micro series. Yeah. And I always say, like, if you put those two together and put them in theaters, that might be my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, because that stuff is just amazing. So I've always liked the ARC Troopers. I've always liked elite, like, fighting forces that aren't Jedi.
Yeah.
And so I just wish they never. I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't watched it, but they never felt in danger for me. There was never a close call. There was never like, oh, one of them almost died or one of them. Because, I mean, especially, Obi-Wan survives. Mace Windu makes it to Revenge of the Sith. So you have these quote-unquote disposable characters that you don't see in the movies, so you can kill them off. Like, Cody makes it because you see him in Revenge of the Sith too. So, like, they needed to have more close calls with these, like, oh, we've never heard of the Bad Batch before. Yeah. Is it because they die in this 5 episodes? Is it because they don't make it? Is it because they're, like, fighting against Order 66 or something? And it just felt like they missed that opportunity. I love all the characters, and D. Bradley Baker is doing the Lord's work with all these voices.
Hell yeah.
He's crazy talented.
Is he, like, the highest paid voice actor on the Clone Wars?
I hope so, man. Like... He's doing what minimum in this last episode was 4 Bad Batch members, Cody and Echo. He's doing 6 voices.
Yeah, that's nuts. But like, who's your favorite out of the Bad Batch? Because I have my favorite.
Well, the sniper definitely had the best moment of the episode.
Yeah,
I do like the leader. I like his
Hunter?
mullet cut. I like his like face. Like I don't know if it's a scar or a tattoo.
Yeah, I think it's a tattoo. But you're a video game guy. Do you get like a Solid Snake like vibe from Hunter at all? Because like he immediately came out with the bandana. I'm like, yep, that's Solid Snake. And out of this group, I get like a. I said it on my reviews of this, I get like a special operations Foxhound vibe from this group of guys. Okay. So it's like, oh, because Foxhound's like these specialized group. They all have their different talents, and like, I was like, that this is totally Foxhound for me. And the thing,
I honestly feel like when they drew up Hunter, I guarantee you he had an eye patch, and then they went to the legal department. And they're like, guys, come on,
we can't.
Come on, guys.
I bet that's like, well, let's give him a tattoo instead.
yeah. We'll give him a tattoo over one eye, not an eye patch, because we already have. Deathstroke. We already have Solid Snake. Yeah. Let's not push that line too far right now.
Yeah. What was his name? Crosshair is definitely my favorite out of the Bad Batch. Just like he's such a dick, but like he does some of the coolest stuff. I think the action in this latest episode was kind of my favorite out of all the episodes. The first episode so far is my favorite. Yeah. But the action is just.
Dude, that one take shot they do in that first episode where they're going down the hall.
Absolutely.
Like they really were like, okay. We want to show you that we've put more money into the animation, more money into the art direction of this show, and that shot really put it. And I thought, like, how strong was it Bruiser? Is that his name?
Wrecker.
Wrecker. Right. I knew it was one of those. They're all named that. But how strong? He's just like lifting starships and stuff like that. I was like,
that's crazy. Like, yeah, I think the first episode is my favorite because of like we get a really close look at how they operate, and like Rex wants to sit back. It's like, all right, we'll set up a perimeter here and let them come to us. So like, nah, that's not how we do things in the Bad Batch. We'll go to them, and like that was really cool. But like I think the action was like top notch in this latest episode, especially the thing that Crosshair does, like when they get out. That was super cool.
In the hangar where, like, I love the line Mace Windu gives. He's like, I've destroyed 100,000 of you, so this is your last chance to surrender. But then they kind of just go back into firing at each other.
Yeah.
Like, I love, especially because not even just the Bad Batch, but I felt like all the stormtroopers they had were at least right below arc level troopers. So I'd love to see like stormtroopers like do more than just like firing line like Revolutionary War type stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought they missed a few opportunities. But other than that, like it was an enjoyable episode.
Oh yeah.
I wish they would have gone more into, is Echo a traitor? Does he still have the thing in his head? Like they touched on it once, and it's literally the description of the episode. But I was like, no, he's not, and he wasn't. Like,
yeah, and I think we always forget, like, this is a kids show, so you really can't, like,
for sure.
It's like you can't go super deep and like have things go over kids' heads, but like,
yeah.
But I was fully expecting one of the Bad Batch to die in this episode. It's like this is a prime opportunity for them to do that. But I would like to see where they end up, because we have no idea where they end up at Order 66, and there's this one like special stormtrooper core that happens in the comic books, and one of the stormtroopers actually has a lightsaber. I'm like wondering, is that the Bad Batch of them transferring over? So that's curious. I have to hit up Alex, see if he notices anything with that. So that could be a really cool like connection with the comic books that I can see them going. But so far, I really like what they're doing with Clone Wars. And let us know in the chat, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and see check out the chat, see if we have any questions for us. Again, tag videos by Andrew so I can see you asking questions, because again, I am terrible at moderating chats. Let me make sure really quick. And again, the Streamlabs is up if you feel so inclined to do so. You don't have to, but it's always nice to
put Demi to work. Have her write down the username and the question, and then like just have her text it to you or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we're playing with an idea with like Streamlabs, because you have that feature of actually popping questions up on the screen. So let's.
Oh yeah, StreamYards. Yeah, I gotta get that going too, because I feel like that's like the new wave, and I want to do that for like YouTube shows, like to get my watch time up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Movie Fanobi. Clone Wars are there any episodes in season 6 that I have to watch? Plus Disney Plus gave let's see, 20 episodes to watch to catch up, but there was nothing from season 6. I guess what Movie for Nobody's saying is, like, are there any episodes in season 6 that you have to watch to prepare for season 7? A lot of season 6, from what I can recall, is like it has a lot to do with Yoda.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I've watched Clone Wars so many times. It's like The Office. Like I've watched The Office 1,000 times, but if you ask me what's the name of the episode where Michael waffle irons his foot, I have no idea. No idea.
I was really bad on rewatching these things leading up to Clone Wars, because obviously all these other things that we had to do, preparing for a couple things and like keeping up with everybody else and watching everybody's streams, studying for Schmodown. It's just like there's so much to do that I couldn't keep up with it. But as far as I know, season 6, there's very few episodes. I think it's low. It's less than 20 if I can recall. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But there's Clone Wars. There's so many episodes of Clone Wars.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. So that's why I'm hoping they don't bring it into the Schmodown at all, because it's like, all right, I already have no time for anything.
No, like maybe Mandalorian. Maybe Mandalorian.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like, just because I feel like at bet you'll get 8 episodes at a time, so it'll slowly. But yeah, no, Clone Wars would be ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that'd be almost you can almost make a whole league out of Clone Wars by itself.
That's absolutely its own league, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't see any more questions yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and just jump into conversation, because that was the last topic that I had prepared for this stream, because a lot of today's stream is just gonna be talking to Ben and getting like your experience with Star Wars. What just let's go right into it. Who very very first, obviously, it's like, how did you get introduced to Star Wars? Who introduced you to Star Wars, and when did you become a fan of this great franchise?
Well, I always say that I feel like, because we're about the same age, I always feel like we grew up in the perfect time for Star Wars.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where like we were raised, like my parents showed me the original trilogy, and I think I watched Return of the Jedi first, and they were always playing on TBS or TNT, like they were always playing. So like we were raised on the original trilogy and got to know that one, and then it was 99, so I was 12 when Phantom Menace came out, so of course I loved it. And then 2 years later, Attack of the Clones came out, and then I was a junior in high school when Revenge of the Sith came out, so I was still like, I wasn't a cynical that was really like, we had the internet, but it wasn't the internet now. Like there wasn't 1,000 think pieces of why every movie is the worst movie ever made.
Yeah, we were in our teens when the internet came out, pre-teens, I think.
Yeah, preteens.
Yeah.
I remember like that's how I learned to type was AOL AIM.
Oh yeah.
AIM
what
was
your
the best, man.
What was your AIM handle?
You do no. It was terrible. It was so bad.
I think everybody our age is like, yeah, you don't want to hear my AIM handle. No.
Like putting like your favorite lyrics as away messages, like, and you'd be like, oh, is Ben really mad? Those lyrics sound real pissed.
We're so dating ourselves right now.
We're so dating ourselves.
God.
It's awful. But no, and then like we got that break from Star Wars for 10 years, and then it was I love Force Awakens. I love Last Jedi. Honestly, like like revisiting these movies because they've been on Disney Plus and I've been watching them. It's hard for me to say that Force Awakens isn't my favorite Star Wars.
Really?
Like,
wow.
Like
over Empire.
Over Empire. I'm not saying the best.
It's your favorite,
might be my favorite.
Wow. Yeah.
But Rey's definitely my favorite character. Like, it's not even close.
She's my favorite sequel character. Force Awakens is my second favorite behind Empire. But yeah, she's my favorite of the sequel trilogy. Obi-Wan Kenobi is my all-time favorite character.
I think with the Clone, if you included the Clone Wars series, I think Obi-Wan would probably be up there. But just with the movies. But I love Ewan McGregor. He's so good.
I cannot wait for the Obi-Wan series.
Oh my God,
I'm so hyped for it.
Yeah, I was so sad when they pushed it back. But
yeah.
But no,
they pushed back filming. I think it's still on track to be released when they planned on it. So
yeah, but no, like just I've loved Star Wars for a long time. You know, it's taken a little bit of a toxic turn just online, but if you the messages in the movies are still there, the characters are still there. Like I didn't like Rise of Skywalker, but I'm not gonna go online and trash anybody that did like it. Like I know you liked it a lot.
Oh yeah,
I support that.
I just watched it again today.
Yeah,
Schmoed on purposes.
I think I might eventually get around to watching it because I know it's on Disney Plus now. And yeah, I don't think it's
on Disney Plus just yet. I think that it comes out.
Okay.
No, it's on digital. It's on for digital. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, but like we grew up in the perfect time for Star Wars. I always say. And I mean, maybe it was nice, growing up, someone Ken's age that grew up with the original trilogy, and then had that long break, like that 16 years in between Return and Phantom Menace. But even then, like maybe having that long break, you're kind of disappointed in Phantom Menace. Like I didn't know any better. I'd never seen a Star Wars in theaters, so I was like, this is great. This is pod racing. Like that. I love it.
Were you one of those kids that, because like when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. It is so great. And the lightsabers, and I was so hyped for Phantom Menace. But then you grow older and like it's kind of it's not the best thing. Yeah, I kind of have that experience. But then years pass, Force Awakens comes out. We look back on the prequels now. It's like, all right, not the best execution, but I appreciate you look at the overall arcing story of the prequels. It's like it's definitely there. It's just I wish somebody else would have made those movies because
especially Revenge of the Sith, because I think my favorite moment from the prequel trilogy was that moment right before Obi-Wan goes off to find General Grievous, and like it's him and Anakin talking, and even like as a high school I was like, yeah, Anakin's gonna be okay, and I'm like, nope. And then I was like, no, he's not. Like, come on, I know what happens, but like that's how good that moment was for me. Is that you're really hoping that this one last speech from Obi-Wan Kenobi can save him from the dark side, even though it doesn't. Yeah. And I love that, and that's what I felt like the prequels were missing. Is that it felt just like a little cold and very hollow. Yeah. And I can't even blame the actors because they're just all on green screen. There was no sets. Everything was a green screen. Yeah. Everything was a green or blue screen.
Yeah, it was more so on episode 3 because I think people keep forgetting that in Phantom Menace there were actual physical sets. I mean, there's still blue screens. Less so in Attack of the Clones, but then there are entire scenes in Attack of the Clones where nothing is real. Everything is blue screen. So you can. Bash the prequels all you want. There's some great things in there, but come on.
Well, yeah, just poor Ewan McGregor the entirety of Attack of the Clones, hugging Dexter Jetser and sitting in a fake diner and and then going to Camino. That's all fake, and I think the only person he really talks to until the third act is Django.
That's right. Yeah. Poor little Boba Fett. So. God, yeah. Let me hit up a little bit of Streamlabs action right here because we actually got a Streamlab. We got a Streamlab from Miss Brandy P says, I know nothing about Star Wars, but this is for Nikki, killing it as a mod. So yeah, and a huge donation from Anthony Nugent. Thank you so much, Anthony. So first episode of Going Rogue, I've been able to watch. He honestly thought that it was a Patreon only vid, so which is kind of bad marketing on my part, but so glad that it isn't.
Too, so you gotta let the people know this is for everybody.
It's for everybody. So yeah, so he also needs someone to balance out Ben's terrible Rogue One opinion. Wait, Andrew.
Oh yeah, we can talk about it.
Do you like Rogue One, right? Please, I do enjoy Rogue One. I've said it before on this stream, and I say it all the time. I'm a very forgiving Star Wars fan. There's very few things about the franchise that I just straight up hate. But for the most part, like I purposely look for good in everything Star Wars, because I don't want to be that fan that like, oh man, I hate Disney, because like when the news of Disney purchasing Lucasfilm came out, I was like, I mean, there are good and bad things, but like I want to go into this positive, and I've enjoyed all the Star Wars things. I think there's very few, like out of all the new things, the only thing I absolutely hated was how Han Solo got his surname. It's like, really, do we have to do it that way? If he would have made up the name by himself, I'd be fine with it. But the fact that some Imperial stooge gives it to him, it's like, really? That's so dumb. It's so dumb. That's like, yeah. But Anthony Nugent, thank you so much for that Streamlabs. Let me hit up chat one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything.
I think I saw a few in here from Nikki.
Yeah, she's monitoring because she knows how bad I'm at monitoring chat. If you ever game with me and you're typing in chat and you type something to me in chat, I completely gloss over it. I'm terrible with chats,
that's
texting.
We'll hang out and chat for most of the time on my Twitch, but then like once I start gaming, like I have to move the screen too. Yeah. So it's like not in my eye line. It gets bad.
We have a couple in here about Ask Ben about Rogue One. Let's see.
All right. I can address it if you want me to, or we can keep it positive in here.
Yeah. Well, I have to withhold you to the rules of going rogue. This is a place where we celebrate Star Wars.
Exactly.
We don't want to, like, if some people like or certain things we all have different experiences with Star Wars. We're introduced to the fandom in all different ways. So, some people might hate the prequels, others might love it. They grew up on it. So this is a place for, if you don't like something, I don't want to like, no, you're not allowed in here. It's just respectful, healthy discussions about Star Wars. And so
Disney's 4 out of 5 for me, because the more I watch Solo, the more I really like Alden Ehrenreich. I really like his performance and what he did with that, and especially with Disney basically throwing him under the bus with like a week before the movie came out. They're like, we had to hire an acting coach. I was like, why did you? What are you trying to do? Or do you not want this movie to make money?
Yeah.
Like, it was so strange. But I the more I like Solo, the more I take it as like a fun romp. Yes, there's the Solo and the 12 parsecs and literally everything we hear about Han Solo, they just like check off a list. But if you take it as a movie that's just there, it's very enjoyable. It's very fun. I like Kira. I like Donald Glover. I
think Kira and Donald Glover are probably the two things that I love most about Solo, because Kira's such an interesting character. I would love to see like maybe a mini series or a comic run or a novel like around her experience with Crimson Dawn. I think that'd be fantastic, because she's
I think it would be too.
It'd be great. But everybody wants to know, like, hear us talk about Rogue One. I've said before on this stream that the more I watch Rogue One, the more I enjoy it. I appreciate it for these small little nuances that I notice into it. The first and second act have problems. The entire movie to me is the third act, because like I remember watching the third act in the movie theaters. I'm like, wow, this is rivaling. Wow, I can't speak tonight.
No, I don't know how because there's rivalry week in like college baskbasketball, and like all those ESPN announcers say it like 20 times. I'm like, that's a struggle there.
That's a struggle, yeah. But like it's almost on par with Battle of Endor. Battle of Endor will not be top for me just yet, but Battle of Scarif is a close second for me. But like more I look at it, it's all these. I've had my thoughts about it on the show, but I want to give you a chance to give your thoughts and counter arguments to what I don't know.
Like, I know the first time. And this isn't the movie's fault, because I've told people like I've talked about like A24 movies like Hereditary, like people go in with their expectations, and then when the movie doesn't do that, they don't like the movie, even if the movie's still good. I was expecting Ocean's 11 with Star Wars. I wasn't expecting, hey, we're gonna steal the Death Star plans. and we're gonna have this giant, huge, like you're comparing it to Battle of Endor. That's the last ditch effort of the rebellion. They should not be having this huge battle to steal plans. Like it should be this covert operation. But then that's not the movie's fault. Like that, I had a different view of how the Death Star plans got stolen. Like I don't write this. I don't write this stuff. But going back on it, like the characters felt a little hollow for me. I didn't learn anything about Jyn Erso. I don't know why. Like if I was abandoned by my dad at 5 years old, I wouldn't really care what happened to him when I met him 25 years later. I'd be like, oh, my dad that I knew for 5 years, and I guess he called me Stardust. Okay. I don't know. Like a lot of stuff, I'm gonna try not to be too negative, but a lot of the stuff really missed it. I am interested to see Cassian Endor series because I did like that where he's playing dirty too.
He's got to play shady, yeah.
Rebellions would play dirty.
Yeah,
we played dirty in the Revolutionary War. That's how we won.
Yeah, he's not the main character, but he's the most intriguing character out of the whole gang. Because the second he shoots Tivik in the back, like, whoa, what? The Rebellion does stuff like this?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And I like that. And like I've been fighting in this war since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, and I think
that was interesting stuff, but they didn't go with that. And I don't know, the hentai interrogator was weird.
Oh yeah, the Bogalit.
Yeah.
That's one of those things another one of those things I really don't like about this movie. It's like you take that scene out, the movie's essentially no different. It's no different if you take that scene out. So they just blew a lot of money animating that character and just filming that scene. It was completely useless. Yeah. But you said something about God. I'm trying to pay attention to chat and everything. But like you said something about like what did you say? Wow, lost my train of thought. But
all good. No, but just like the third act is definitely
Oh yeah, that's it. Sorry. I just got it back. Sorry. Yeah. So you said like you wanted to see like that covert operation to get the plans back, and like you didn't really need the big battle, but because I enjoyed it because like in the text like they won their first victory over the Empire, so that implies like there had to be a big battle. Like if you're gonna win over this, like it shows like if you're gonna win against the Empire, you got to throw everything at them. So like that's basically what they did. So that's why I think I enjoyed the Battle of Scarif so much, because like it's one of those like the days in the Rebellion, it's always last ditch efforts because it's it's Empire versus the Rebellion basically. So like that's what my mindset on it. It's like if you're gonna go get the Death Star plans, you got to throw everything at them because
on like a counter argument to that is that like if the Rebellion was struggling that bad, they shouldn't have like this isn't like some outer rim planet that they're hiding the plans on. This is a main planet that they have all their data on. Yeah. And the rebels managed to steal all of it. Granted, they did lose a lot, and when they run, that's when the rest of the fleet shows up. So yes, you can do these quick hitting things, and that's what I felt like it should have been, like this hit and run. Like, hey, blow this up, distract, gone, now we're gone. Yeah. And then like because I feel like the Empire would not have underestimated them when it came to the Battle of the Death Star. Yeah. They'd be like, they went after this data. What did we have on this data center? Like, what do we have at this data center? We need, like, because that's what I loved about, and I honestly didn't like that Galen Erso hid something in the, I loved that it was their own arrogance and their ignorance. Like, no, they'll never beat us. We don't have anything to worry about. Even though in A New Hope, they're like, we think they found a weakness. Should we get ready to evacuate? That's a line in New Hope. I didn't need a full movie to explain why there was this weakness, because it says it right there.
Yeah, from Moretman Bass, if I can flex for a second for Schmo
people. No big deal.
Yeah, we differ really hard on this movie, because I like the fact that it's a trap by Galen Erso, because like I feel like a lot of these like standalones and like extra stuff that we're getting in between like timelines and stuff is like to explain certain things, like a lot of people have a problem with the weakness in this. So like, how can they overlook something that part? And it's like, well, this is why, because it was purposely put there by the guy that designed it. And people will have a problem with Solo, like, oh, Solo's using parsec as a measurement of time instead of distance. It's like, well, this is what he meant by 12 parsecs, because so that's the way I feel. Again, very forgiving Star Wars fan over here. So let me hit up a couple of questions here in chat. We actually got a couple new Streamlabs in.
Nice.
Thank you so much, guys. This is the most activity I've gotten on Streamlabs in quite some times. Let's see. Heather donated, says, no question, just love and support for Demi killing his mod game in the chat. Everybody loves Nikki more than me.
She's
and
stealing the show.
It's so I'm totally down for it. So let's see. Taymor, what's up? Squadron Commander just became our first Squadron Commander on Patreon. Andrew, Squadron Commander, reporting in for duty. Let's see. What was your thoughts on the Mace Windu giving the warning to the B1 and B2 battle droids, and what are your thoughts on Mace Windu in the Clone Wars series? So we touched on that a little bit. We both thought it was pretty funny.
It was awesome.
Mace Windu isn't my favorite of of the Jedi. I think in other canon material and stuff, he's come off kind of like a dick. Basically, he's very short-tempered, and going into deeper lore, he's more of that Jedi that taps into the darker side of the Force and stuff like that. But I like this moment with Mace Windu trying to negotiate with droids, even though they're not. Like, you're not. Yeah, like they're gonna.
Retrospectively, that's like a Parsec moment. I'm like, they're not. They're droids. Like they can't surrender. Someone pushes a button and they attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and fun
they're
little
not sentient. Weird.
Fun little fact. The droids are my Demi's favorite part about Clone Wars. Like she thinks
you either love them or hate them.
She thinks they are hilarious, and their humor is right on par.
Who else thinks they're hilarious? Is Kate Mulligan's children. Dude.
All right, and we got another one from Garth McMurray. I saw Star Wars in 1977 when I was 9 years old, and I saw it 20 times, man. I wish I could go back. The closest I think we both will get to that hype is either Phantom Menace or Force Awakens. I said it before on the stream. I'll never have an experience with Star Wars, or any movie for that matter, like I did with Force Awakens. Just the hype leading up to it, waiting in line for my seat, buying the tickets early. It's just... nothing will ever match that. Maybe in the next Star Wars movie, we'll see. But she continues. Garth continues, says one of the times was with a blind friend, and was whispering to him everything happening on screen. Wow. That is quite the experience. Gosh. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie after the original trilogy. So prime example. Somebody Ben hates Rogue One.
I know I'm in the minority about this. And on top of that, I'll anger everyone else. Like Last Jedi is probably my number 2 or 3. Like the thing about my Star Wars, their ranks change daily. It's
absolutely.
Empire, Jedi, Force Awakens, Last Jedi are my top 4. And depending on the day, depending on what kind of mood I'm in, it'll depend on what goes first.
Yeah. So let's see. Hit it up the chat a little bit more. Let's see from Nerd says, what is your least favorite arc in the Clone Wars series? So least favorite arc, anything to do with Jar Jar?
I was gonna say either Jar Jar or when the kids at the Kyber Crystal Cave, all the younglings.
I love that episode. Oh my god! I've always just looking at it, I've always wanted to build my own. It's just that nerdy little kid inside of me is like, I want to build my own lightsaber. I think one of my favorite parts about that episode is they're all talking amongst themselves, and I can't remember their names, but the one snarky kid's like, I'm gonna make my lightsaber look cool and blah 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 blah, and the droid comes in and he's like, and he's talking to the Wookiee. He's like, imagine the lightsaber in your hand. The Wookiee is sitting there closing his eyes, and he closes his fist around what he believes his lightsaber is. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. It's so cool because it's not like you just build this lightsaber and it's all right, pick out your design or whatever. It's you custom build it to your own likings and your own hand, because a Wookiee's hand is vastly different from a human hand or a Rodian hand. So you got to build it to your own personal grip and things. I found that so fascinating, and it goes deeper into the lore, the connection between the Jedi and the Kyber crystal, and it's just I love that episode. God, we're so differing fans on this.
Oh, we are absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, either that or any of the episodes with just the droids, just because that's. I love Dio. I love BB-8. I love R2 and C-3PO in the movies. But I can't do 20 minutes of them. And and also speaking back to Mace Windu, I wish, because I always go back to the Tartarovsky Clone Wars, that episode where he's just punching droids in the face, and then he dismantles one with the Force and then throws all the scraps and kills a bunch. I was like,
Oh
That's
man,
the
yeah.
Mace Windu I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's always talking about how powerful he is, but we like, granted, he does beat Palpatine one-on-one, so maybe that's how powerful Windu is. But I never got to see it in Clone Wars that much. Like, I was missing that.
Yeah, that's one of my gripes about the canon Star Wars right now, because again, that animated Clone Wars, it showed a Jedi without the lightsaber. Because like you see it in Clone Wars when Obi-Wan fights Jango Fett, but it's like it's not very impressive, and like the everything in canon is built up to like, oh, you're nothing without your lightsaber. Basically, that's what they're saying. And like even in Rise of Skywalker, one of my gripes is that like Rey defeat. Spoiler alert, sorry, if you haven't seen, it's on digital, so you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker by now. But like one of my problems with that final scene is she uses lightsabers to defeat the Emperor. It's like I would rather her do without lightsabers, because it's like you're basically telling us lightsabers and the Force, and it should be the other way around.
Or at least like she should have had, like, Kylo shouldn't have thrown his lightsaber away. It should have been her lightsaber and his lightsaber, so you had both these sides, like, you know, this Skywalker lightsaber that is nothing but pure good, and then you have like this struggling evil on the other side, and it still defeats like pure evil. And
Absolutely.
Let's not talk about Rise of Skywalker. I have nothing but notes for that movie.
Nerd also says, what's your wait, no, here it said least favorite. I think somebody said so on the flip side, that Nerd also says favorite arc in the Clone Wars series. It has to be Ahsoka's arc, especially when she leaves the Order.
When she gets framed is really good.
Yeah,
and also I like when she gets paired up with the Jedi that's really slow, and she's like chasing.
I
love the bounty hunters. I love when Obi-Wan goes undercover with the bounty hunters. That's one of my favorite. And like the
that's right, when they change, it's basically face off for Star Wars Clone Wars.
He goes face off with Star Wars. And then I love the Night Sisters and Savage Opress.
Yeah, Maul has a fantastic arc in Clone Wars.
Maul has a fantastic arc. It's like there's so much good stuff about Clone Wars. Like the episodes that I skip are so like they pale in comparison to episodes that I go for.
That's why I like Rebels more than Clone Wars, because there are like quote unquote filler episodes, but they ultimately lead back to helping out the story a bit. With Clone Wars, like, filler episodes are exactly that. They're filler episodes. Yeah. Like, Jar Jar has a ton of filler episodes. Obviously, the episodes of just droids are filler episodes. So, I mean, it's just there's so many episodes of Clone Wars, and it's like I know I'm forgetting arcs. I'm forgetting things with that. Let's see. Just checking chat out one more time. I know I missed something in here. Skitza, welcome to the chat, my friend. Another squadron recruit up in here. If you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, guys, we're hitting that really hard in the next coming months. Obviously, right now is a great time to just be streaming things. Stay at home, be safe. Yeah. God, I missed one. I found a good one. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Let's see. Mathana, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What is your favorite lightsaber scene / battle? Mine is the Maul scene in the Phantom Menace. So I actually have a video ranking all the saga films according to, minus the Rise of Skywalker, because I did it before Rise of Skywalker came out. So I rank all the saga films based on their lightsaber duels. Empire is up top just because of story-wise and choreography-wise. Phantom Menace is my number 2. So what would you say your favorite is for lightsaber battles or lightsaber scenes?
It's tough to beat that throne room for me in Last Jedi.
Really?
Like, I realize, like, people like slowed down the video and found the movie mistakes and stuff, but I don't care. Like, that's not what movies are about. Like, you can slow down any fight scene and it's gonna look fake. But with the music, it really is tough to beat Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
But if we're just going movies, I think I'd have to say Last Jedi. Just that whole scene of like him cutting off Snoke and then her catching it like out off screen, like her hand just coming from off screen. And then the fact that most directors, when they turn around in slow motion, you see the Praetorian Guards closing in. Most directors would have cut away from that moment and then cut back, like cut away to like the ship's getting destroyed, and then they cut back in the middle of the fight. No, it's just this long one-take shot, and it's gorgeous. I love the look they give each other. I love that it's literally the opposite. Kylo is this calm, centered person. Meanwhile, Rey, who's the Jedi, is screaming in anger and in pain, and it's just like, this is Star Wars. Like, I love everything about that scene.
Yeah, I mean, I like just the scene alone. I absolutely love. I love the way it's made and like the long takes and things like that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the moment of the scene. I love like they team up. It's just this one as a moment in Star Wars. It's like at the top for me. The problem I have with this, and it ranks somewhere in the middle for me, is because of the choreography. Like, you know, I've been a martial artist for most of my life. You know, I've been I've been out of practice for several years now. But like, I look at it, and the choreography it's painfully basic. It's like, and when you again, you don't even have to slow down these moments where you look at the guys in the background. It's like, all right, I'm gonna wait for my turn, and go, wait for my turn, and go. So like, those are the problems I have. But if you strike that away from this scene, is amazing for me. But yeah, that's the only problem.
You can say that about Bruce Lee's, like, granted.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Bruce Lee's choreography, but Enter the Dragon, he's surrounded by 30 dudes, and
yeah,
somehow he wins the fight.
Yeah,
like,
and
but every movie does that.
And that's the kind of thing I compared it to in that video. Was like, it feels like that old school kung fu movie where guys are just posing in the background waiting for their turn. But I rank Empire number one because obviously it's story moments, and you know the choreography may not be the best. But like
the emotion behind it, but you were not a Jedi yet. Is so
and it's like this perfect balance of like cutting at the right moments, holding on a shot when it needs to be held on the shot, and when you break the fight down, like it's like, all right, you have this moment of like they're just toying, feeling each other out, then they get into it like with fights, and then there's a moment where Vader's just fucking over, and he's like, I'm just gonna go ham on you now, and like it's like, so great.
I think my favorite moment from Empire, though, is when Han and them open the door on Cloud City, and he sees Vader, and he doesn't even hesitate to shoot him. Like, because, you know, this is Darth Vader, the most feared man in the galaxy. Yes, there's the Emperor, but no one really, like, Emperor's this shadowy figure. Darth Vader's on the front lines fucking people up.
Yeah.
And just, like, Han Solo just, like, looks and just draws his gun and just, like, shoots him. And, you know, luckily Vader can block shit with his hand, but... Just like Han just didn't give a shit, and I think that's my favorite moment from Empire. But yeah, that I'm glad you have that number one, because I feel like people really underrate that one, because I feel like that's our first time really seeing a lot of Force powers, like Luke's Force jump, seeing Darth Vader throw all this shit at him, like.
Yeah, and that's why I love it, because like you know, he's testing him out. He gives Luke a little bit of confidence when he like kicks him down the shaft, and then like the next sequence is just Vader just fucking toying with him, throwing all this shit at him,
and then just like after that just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like, I'm done with you. I'm gonna cut your hand off. It's like done. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit. No, we got another Streamlabs coming in from Suge Knight. Suge Knight. Well, I'm here to give. Yeah, that's right, man. I'm here to give some love to the future Star Wars champion, Andrew Dimalanta, for one of the best Star Wars podcasts. I mean, thank you, Suge.
He's definitely not talking to me.
Shout out to the Bandit, Andrew. What are your thoughts on Sasha Banks being cast as in The Mandalorian, and any predictions on season 2? So obviously Sasha Banks, the wrestler, I believe, being cast for season 2. I mean, I'm terrible at like predicting like on people because I don't have really any experience with wrestling anymore. I mean, the only time I know what's going on in wrestling is things I see on Twitter, things you guys might say on SEN Live. But I think it just depends on how big of a role she has. I mean, granted, wrestlers have a little more acting talent than MMA fighters. Her name is. Just fell on me, Gina Carano. Like anything that I've seen her in before The Mandalorian, I'm like, oh, that's not the best. She could do better, but I thought she did a really good job in The Mandalorian. She did fantastic. So if they can bring that level of direction to this new character, and it also depends what type of character she is. I imagine she'll be something physical, like maybe a bounty hunter, or like maybe she's another arc jumper, like Carano's character is. But I think it'd be great. As far as predictions for season 2 would go, I say like bold prediction, we're gonna see Boba Fett. That's my bold prediction.
I'm hoping so, because I mean, I feel like I liked The Mandalorian. I didn't love it. Like the episode with Hey Mando, like that episode was painful. And then but just like we never found out whose boots though that was. Like I think some people were saying that it's Giancarlo Esposito's, but other people are saying it's not.
Yeah.
So I mean, I liked a lot of stuff, and I'm excited to see what they do. Like Sasha Banks herself doesn't get me more excited.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see like who her character is, who they introduce. I want to see more bounty hunters. I want to see more like Trandoshans or what was the guy from Clone Wars? What's his name? The guy with the big cowboy hat, the blue guy.
Oh God, you're making me show my cards because what's his name? Oh my God, chat will update on it. But yeah, he's another one of those like awesome characters.
Cool.
I want to see him jump into live action, and if there's a time to do it, it'd be in either in the Cassian series or the Obi-Wan series. Cad Bane, that's
Cad
it.
Bane.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, commentating nerd. Appreciate it.
But yeah, so let me hit this one more question, and then we'll get dive deeper into your experience with Star Wars. What is your? So let's see. Jaka the Hutt. What's up, Jaka? What is your favorite piece in Star Wars toy collection? See, I'm not a huge toy collector. I mean, I have all this stuff behind me. I just turned away from my microphone. Wow. But all this stuff behind me, I have a bunch of Black Series stuff behind me. I'm a big model, like statue type of collector.
Okay.
I have a First Order TIE and a Millennium Falcon that I have to finish painting. I built it like 3 years ago when The Force Awakens comes out. However long The Force Awakens came out. I got that for Christmas from my brother, and I've yet to paint it. So maybe I'll do it on a live stream. That'd be a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you? Because I see you have a Rey figurine behind you.
Yeah, I love my Rey. It's called a Big Fig, but then like I love my my Praetorian Guard Funko.
Oh yeah, I have a couple Funkos too.
I've got my my Porg plushie. I'm waiting for my Baby Yoda plush.
Oh yeah.
And then honestly, I like Star Wars shirts. I'll have like that Star Wars Christmas sweater I have. But yeah, I'm not a big. I have a giant. I don't want to get up and go get it, but I have a giant BB-9E.
Oh man.
Let me see. Hold on.
I have that.
See that in the corner over there?
I think so.
Very, very far in the corner. It's like at the top right there. Yeah. It's black, so you can't really see it, but it's like this giant $50 one.
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah, I'm not a big toy collector either. I have like a few Funkos, a few action figures, but that's about it.
Yeah, I have the that BB-8 Sphero toy. I actually got two of them because they sent second one to me on accident. Yeah. I have no idea how that happened, but I have two of them. The BB-8. Nice. I was like, I saw that advertisement. I'm like, I need that right now because BB-8 was one of my favorite things about Force Awakens. But yeah, so I can't remember what the last thing we said about your experience with Star Wars. Like, what was your experience like growing up? Because like my experience growing up was like I wasn't bullied for being a Star Wars fan. I was never like shunned for being a Star Wars fan. You know, it was more like I was the only Star Wars kid in my classroom. Yeah. I bump into people here and there, but it really wasn't until Phantom Menace that like the fans started coming out in droves. Like, oh yeah, you love Star Wars? I love Star Wars. But growing up, pretty much it was just like, okay, I'm just this nerdy kid in my classroom that loves Star Wars. So what was your experience like growing up?
It definitely wasn't cool. Like, you know, everyone went to go see Phantom Menace, like, even if, like, you know, kids were like, oh, what's this? And their parents would go take them. But it definitely wasn't cool to be a nerd like it is now. Like, like I'm not saying, obviously, people definitely get bullied for one reason or another, but now that you have Star Wars, it's always been mainstream, but it's like it's everywhere now.
Everywhere,
now you have Marvel everywhere and DC everywhere. Like it is, empires have been built on geekdom now.
Yeah, nerd culture is
the main culture. It's mainstream. It's no longer niche. And like there are definitely levels. Like I love Star Wars. You are a bigger like Star Wars fan than me. Now, granted, I'm still in that camp of you like the movies. Cool, you're a Star Wars fan. You just see the MCU movies? Cool, you're a Marvel fan. Like, there's no gatekeeping, but there's still like levels of how much you love something. But yeah, it was definitely different when we were growing up. It was definitely still nerdy, and like if you like Star Wars, it automatically meant that you weren't good at sports, even though you just said you did martial arts. Like I played sports my entire life. Like and even in college when I was like reading comic books, like you're reading comics, don't you play sports? I'm like, yes, like those things can coincide.
Yeah, you can be nerdy and be athletic at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm gonna try to hit up a couple more questions before I move on to that. Let's see. I just saw one come in. Wow. Yeah, I'm terrible at this. We would have Demi in here physically like next to me doing it, but like we're doing it at the time. Put the daughter down to sleep. So we need somebody free to take care of her if she wakes up.
Yeah, for
sure. Let's see. Mathon says, what are your thoughts on pod racing? So I love the pod racing. When it came out, it was like breaking, like this cutting edge technology. Like they said it on. I think the Phantom Menace has some of the best extra features out of any movie ever. It's like they go so deep into it. Like they always said like, oh, this is cutting edge technology. Everything is computer generated. They're so happy about that. But nowadays it's like, yeah, everything's computer generated. What of it? So it was so cutting edge. My biggest issue with the pod racing is it's such a weird design because you're basically breathing exhaust the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have these two jet engines from front of you. But like aside from that, like it's awesome. I mean, like you're traveling at 600 miles an hour. It's cool.
Since James Mangold isn't doing Boba Fett anymore, I'd love to see a James Mangold pod racing after Ford v Ferrari. Like if anyone can make, because it's hard to make racing like exhilarating. Yes, you can be a NASCAR fan, you can be a Grand Prix, whatever you want, but to make a movie about a 24-hour race that exhilarating, that enthralling, you can do that with pod racing. I'd love to see like a little 3-part series or something like that about pod racing, because that was a cool like second act action scene. Like granted, like Jake Lloyd, God bless him, and I don't want to harp on the kid too much, but he did his best. Like, because I mean, really, no one besides Ewan McGregor was really a good actor in that prequel. But just, I like Sebulba. I love the different designs and the different like the sound engineering they were doing on each pod. I thought that was cool, and I mean, it was a great N64 game.
Oh yes, they need to bring. I think you can download that on Steam, can't you?
I thought I saw someone playing it on Twitch the other night.
That's so cool. I would love to see an animated series just focused on pod racing. No rebellion, no galactic struggle or anything. It's just this one guy has to win like the Boonty Eve Classic, or they said pod racing on Malastare. I want to see that. Show me a guy that like, well, because Anakin's the only human that can do it. So it has to be an alien character.
Yeah, but I mean, like 90% of aliens are literally people in makeup. So
yeah, you can. I would love to see that. Like he's down on the leaderboard. So he needs to win this next race, or he's out of it for the season. I would love to see that. That'd be so cool. Let's see. So yeah, just going back to like your experiences with Star Wars. Is there anything any childhood memory that you can tie to Star Wars? Because like I tell the story all the time that like kindergarten, they always ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like everybody's like, oh, I want to be a police officer, a fireman, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a princess, I want to be a Jedi. That's literally what I told my teacher. It was just like that's everything I always said, and that's how nerdy I was growing up. Like, do you have any like thing that screams at you in your childhood with Star Wars?
I mean, it's from high school, because that was when we camped out overnight for Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah.
And we literally had two of my like friends literally like come by and water balloon us for being nerds, and the next time they came by, we threw eggs in their van and like messed up my friend's car, like get out of here. And then we were having lightsaber battles in the middle of the street, and some guy because I think like that was still a time where like quote unquote nerds would be mad if like a quote unquote jock was in their territory.
Oh yeah.
And so like the guy's like, what's this guy doing here? So he challenged me to a lightsaber fight in the middle of the street, and I beat him. And it was
awesome.
Like, it was great. And then
that's awesome.
going to see that movie, the final movie. And then it was so funny. My favorite moment in a movie theater, Star Wars, when Padme gives birth, she goes, Luke, Leia, and then my friend goes, oh, I get it, super loud in the theater. Everybody died laughing. It was so perfect.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, let me head over to Streamlabs real quick, because we got another Streamlabs from Sibonius. What are your favorite Rebels arcs? Let's see. Anything to do with Hera. Hera, I think, is my favorite Rebels character. Ezra has a pretty good arc as well. Just seeing him go from this cocky little shit to like connecting with the Force and finding the world between worlds and things like that. There's so many great storylines in Rebels. Sabine has a really great story arc with the Darksaber.
Sabine with the Darksaber is my favorite, just because I feel like I don't know. This is where we're just so opposite because I like Clone Wars. I haven't finished Rebels yet, and I need to. But the fact that I haven't finished Rebels and I've been watching it for like 6 months, like, kind of tells me that I'm just not into the series that much. I like a lot of the stuff. I like a lot of the characters, but they just feel a little bit cold to me. Like Hera and what's the Jedi's name?
Kanan.
Kanan. Like I thought they were dating at the beginning, but then like they never really kiss like throughout like most of the show, and then they talk about dating. I'm confused about them.
I think that's a Star Wars related like romance that's done really well because it's not so in your face, but they hinted at a bit. But it's like that's not the focus. The focus is the rebellion. We have time to do that. Let's focus on the mission right now. And then you finally get that arc with when Kanan dies. Spoiler alert. And you finally get that.
Wow. I didn't know that.
You didn't know? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh no, I thought that was common knowledge.
No, I didn't know.
Oh no. I mean, you gotta know. I mean, he's a Jedi. I'm so sorry. Yeah. This is the second time I've done that on the show. I did it to my buddy that didn't see Rise of Skywalker, and oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. No, but like there are definitely things I like, but definitely Sabine is like my favorite character, and like I love everything Mandalorian, and like I just love that culture, and like how sometimes like their honor gets in the way of like sometimes common sense, and but that's their culture, and like they'll do the honorable thing before they do like, oh no, we should just do this. Like it's like like Spartan culture, like we'll never back down from a fight even if we know we're gonna lose.
Yeah,
and I like that, and I love like how colorful she is, like everything she does with her armor.
She's out of character. Awesome. Yeah, but yeah, I would definitely. That's a great comparison to Mandalorians. They're the Spartans of the Star Wars universe. That's fantastic. And again, I'm so sorry for spoiling that for you. Oh my god.
But yeah, the Obi-Wan and Maul moment. Someone said that in chat.
Have you gotten up to that part yet?
I have gotten up to that point.
That is probably the only way I can think of that going down.
And it was so perfect because I didn't watch Rebels when it was like premiering as a show. But I remember literally it trending on Twitter about like, oh, people were disappointed because like the fight didn't live up to the hype, and like it wasn't this long drawn out Mustafar battle like people wanted. But I thought it was perfect to where like Maul had this whole goal his whole life, and like Obi-Wan was so centered, he was so balanced, and Maul was so distorted and disrupted by the dark side. Like he didn't have a chance. He had no chance.
And that's like what I loved about it, because it's like this is Obi-Wan, I would argue, at his best, because like he had his prime when he was younger and like he's doing all these flips, but like this is the true definition of an experienced seasoned Jedi, and it's like least amount of effort, least amount of energy, boom, you're dead. So it's like, that's so great. We got a couple of Streamlabs coming in here with Tamor again, Squadron Commander coming in here. I agree with Nikki about the battle B1 droids. They are the funniest parts of the series. Just once I would have liked to see some kind of win from which happens in the episode of Rebels. Oh, I think he's referring to the episode of Rebels when they actually do this like Clone Wars like recreation type of thing. I don't think you've gotten to that episode yet. Speaking of battle droids, which battle droid do you like? What battle droid do you dislike the most? So your least favorite battle droid.
Like battle droid or super battle droids or assassin droids
like what's your least favorite type of like variant of battle droid?
I guess just battle droids, because like they're so, everyone talks about how like fearful they are. It reminds me of a lot of zombies in like Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, they're just cannon fodder.
Where they're moving so slow. And like Walking Dead does it right, and then like the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead does it right, where they're little, like once they see you they move fast, or Dawn of the Dead they're like sprinting at you. But it's like that, like they're not that feared. It's like how they treat stormtroopers. All like everyone talks about their aim, and they even joke about it, go full meta in Mandalorian. Where like they're supposed to be these really feared things, but then you can literally push them over sometimes, and then they're like, wah!
I think mine would be the strategic droids. I don't know their official name, but they're like these commanders that like they calculate.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those ones. I just don't like the design of them. They look dumpy. They're like
they do.
They look so dumpy. I don't like them. Suge Knight donated with came in with a Streamlab going, "Wow, Andrew, wow." Again, I am sorry for spoiling Rebels for you.
It's so great.
Oh my god. So going off of Tang Wars question. So favorite variant of battle droid, what would you say?
I love the destroyers. Just because like why don't all droids have that shield? Like it's so OP.
Yeah.
But I really like those assassin droids, like the ones with like the bulbous head and the eyes and everything. Like those are actually fearful. Or the IG droids, like seeing an IG droid in action in Mandalorian, how it like he twists his body and shoots
that's
everywhere.
really cool.
I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, the assassin commander droids are probably my favorite, just because like that one episode that they get introduced in Clone Wars is like, whoa, battle droids can do this.
That
outpost? The outpost. Yeah, that's like probably my top favorite droids. I would say.
Yeah, because and that's what I'm talking about. Like before that, I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of droids, but then you see what they can do, and they're like, basically like snapping clones' necks silently and like.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Droids can do this. Why don't they use them all the time?
Right.
So keep firing the questions, guys. Wow, we are running past, so we're gonna be on for another like maybe 10 minutes, because we started a little late. But keep firing those questions. So let's see.
So I want to ask you, Andrew, like what, like as a child, like what really, because it seems like you've been a Star Wars fan like forever.
Oh yeah, since I was 5.
Yeah, like what really brought it out for you? Like what made it stand out over, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever else was out there? Like
Teenage Mutant Turtles was another favorite
Transformers.
Of mine. Another one of my favorites, but like but it was always Star Wars. I mean, like I bleed Star Wars. It was just like it's one of those things where it's like it's an I don't know answer. It's like I have no idea why it spoke to me. I have no idea why I've loved it for so long. It's just to me, it's always just been because it's Star Wars. That was always my answer for it. Like I think as a kid, it was just like space battles and the lightsabers. So that really like, whoa, that's really cool. I'll like it. I've gotten to the point now where it's like, if you can be anything in the Star Wars universe, like obviously you default to Jedi, but like, what's the next thing? Is like I want to be a rebel pilot. I've always had these things for rebel pilots.
Wedge is my favorite character.
Oh yeah, Wedge is my favorite rebel pilot. Doesn't get quite as much love as he that he should.
Give me a Wedge series.
Oh man,
give me a Top Gun Wedge series.
Yeah, he pops up here and there in all these canon novels, and like every time he pops up, I'm like, oh, it's Wedge Antilles. It's Wedge Antilles. So it's like he's my favorite rebel pilot. But like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like. I really don't have an answer. It's just like I love Star Wars just because it's been there. It's probably my oldest memory as a kid. It's just it's Star Wars.
And that's the thing. Like it was always around for us.
Oh yeah.
Like I watched, like and even before the prequels came out, we got the special editions. Granted that like, but we loved the special editions when we were young because we got to see Star Wars on the big screen. We'd never seen it on the big screen before.
Oh yeah.
Granted, now like the graphics look terrible and like. The screen is just full of terrible CGI characters, but we did not care as kids, and that's the point. Like that's what I love about Star Wars. Like, because yes, I have plenty of gripes with like some of the Star Wars movies that are very adult, but then when I watch them next to my friends' kids, or when I go to Disneyland and people I see kids freaking out about every little thing, I'm like, this is what it's about. This is who the movies are made for. And I still love Ewoks, but George Lucas really made Ewoks for his kids, and I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's fine. Like you can have all these problems with story arcs and pacing and stuff, but like I'm so excited to when my daughter gets old enough to understand these films. I want to experience that through her eyes because like I want to see what I was like when I was a kid. Hopefully, unless her godmother turns her against me and makes her a Harry Potter fan. Let's see. I'm trying to run through chat, see if there's any questions I have. I think let's see. Anthony Nugent asks thoughts on Resistance. Struggling with season 1, but I'll battle on. Get through. I would say the first couple episodes of Resistance is a little tough because it's very campy and it's very aimed, even more so than Clone Wars and Resistance, towards children. That humor is just like, yep, your demographic.
Animation.
I love that's actually my favorite part about it. It's like
really?
It's kind of like animation, like anime style, throwback to that. I like that part about it. But once you get past, I think like once you get like 3 episodes in, I think it gets a little better, but season 2 is really good. Like once you get past season 1, it starts to get deeper into like, all right, now this is what Kaz has to do for the Resistance, and a little more deep because right now they're like the first season is a little bit more on like him becoming a racer and a mechanic, and not really diving into what he was there for. Season 2 really dives more into the spy and the First Order and things like that. So you just got to get past that first couple episodes in that first season, and you're golden. Somebody else had a question here that I know I missed. Let's see. I had a Streamlab come in. Let's see. Anthony Nugent again with another donation. Thank you. Mr. Bones is the best droid. Have you read any of the canon novels at all? So Snap Wexley, played by Greg Grumber. Let me flex again for a second for Schmodown. Greg Grumber's character in The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, Snap Wexley, he gets introduced into the canon through the Aftermath books, and he finds this. He's like a scrapper type of guy. He finds things and rebuilds them and fixes them and sells them. That's his front. Okay. That's his front for his like shadier things that he does. But he reassembles this B1 battle droid and he's basically this unbelievable assassin. And like he's close to that one. Have you Knights of the Old Republic? That one sadistic droid. Have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
Not for a long
but
time.
that one droid that always had something snarky to say.
Okay.
Like, he's a lot like that character.
So and what's that 000 from the Dr. Aphra?
Yeah, something like he's a little bit like that, but like he sings. He's like that one like sadistic thing that like sings and dances while he's killing people. I'm like, this droid is awesome. And they actually have a throwback to Knights of the Old Republic where he flips a switch and he's like, commentary. He says something about meat bags. I can't remember the full quote, but it's like, oh, that's for the Knights of the Old Republic people in there. But yeah, Mr. Bones is ridiculous like that. So I would say if you're going to jump into novels, either Aftermath or Lost Stars would be like a good starting point.
Yeah, I put one of them on my wish list, and granted, right now Amazon is like shutting down everything besides like mandatory like shipments, so I probably won't get it for a while. But I can't. It's like, not the Darth Plagueis one, but what's the Darth Bane one?
I put that on my wish list for Audible, and
it's like a trilogy or something. I can't
the Darth Bane trilogy. If you really want to catch quick up onto the novels, do Audible, man, because like it's a whole production. Like there's sound effects, music, anything done by Mark Thompson is fantastic because he
does on my drives to work.
He
not
he
right
does,
now, but
but he like does voices and things like that. His Thrawn is spot on. It is.
I love the voice actor for Thrawn in Rebels. He was so perfectly cast.
But like Mark Thompson does a spot on Thrawn. I can't wait for the new one. Let's see, Adelia Chamberlain. I think that's what I'm pronouncing.
Adelia Chamberlain.
Chamberlain. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of your regulars in this stream, and I love it. So favorite Star Wars video game. We both played through Fallen Order, which I think we both agreed that it only has doesn't have really good repeat.
Doesn't have a lot of replayability.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It doesn't have. It's like I played through it, I beat the game, and it's like I really don't have a desire to go back and play this. I think I just wasted $60.
I traded it right in for Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah, and which right here that is a great trade-off.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The fact it would have to be Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, because like it has one of the biggest Star Wars twists ever. So that's my. Are you
gonna reveal that one too?
You played it.
I know. I'd have to. Knights of the Republic's like the easy answer is like it's definitely the right answer just with how expansive it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Shadows of the Empire, and then I love Rogue Squadron.
The Rogue Squadron series on
Rogue Squadron, especially when you get the Naboo fighter. When you get the Naboo fighter, man, you mess everybody up.
Same thing with the Jedi Starfighter. I think it was the third game in the series on GameCube. You play as Wedge Antilles, and you end up on Geonosis, and you find Obi-Wan's Rex Jedi Delta 7. And you fly in it, and you just wreck everybody. It's like, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Yeah, the Rogue Squadrons are probably some of the best. I think Shadows of the Empire was really good too. For 64.
Is tough. I think I have it for N64, and I played it a little bit. It froze, so I had to return it. But I was like, this is harder than I remember. Like the controls are like the N64 controller is tough.
Yeah. So let's hit up this last question, and then unless I don't get any Streamlabs, I don't think saw any. This last question, I think we touched on it. First, Mathlana says, "What are your thoughts on Fallen Order?" I think we touched on it. It's fine. I mean, you play it through once. It's a fine game. It's just not a whole lot of replayability. I mainly played it for story. Being a canon junkie, I want to get all the stories I can. Yeah. And I'm curious to see if they do have a sequel game out. It's just like, give me something that I can play online with other people. Maybe a multiplayer would be good.
Yeah,
I don't see how you can do a multiplayer with that game though.
I don't know if you could have gone to Worlds with other Jedis and stuff like that. And then I felt like the boss battles, I don't want to fight animals as boss battles. Like, and I felt like, like,
you kill
frog
so many animals too.
So many animals. Like every animal you have to kill over and over and over again. I was like, what is happening?
I really wanted them to do something like connected to all the other canon, even Rise of Skywalker, with like you encounter this beast and it's like, oh no, okay. Tap into the Force, communicate with them.
Yeah, you learn a Force skill of like taming beasts or something like that. That would be great. But no, you just cut their heads off.
Yeah, you kill so many animals. But like, the story, the whole ending with was really cool. The whole ending sequence when you're running from a certain character.
Oh yeah, it was good.
That was badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream today because we hit that mark. We started late and we're ending a little late too. But yeah, so Ben, thank you so much for coming on with me.
Thanks for having me, man.
So
I always
much,
love doing this stuff.
So much fun, man. Yeah. So where can they find you online, buddy?
Twitch.tv/the Ben Goddard. Honestly, the Ben Goddard at everything. Twitter, Patreon, Instagram. I've finally unified all my things. But yeah, I'll be streaming probably after this in a little bit if you guys want to come on by.
I'll jump into your chat and hassle you and spoil more Star Wars stuff for you. Yeah. All right, you're gonna not see Ben for this part because
Hey, have you seen The Sixth Sense? He's dead the whole time.
So thank you again to all of our patrons that are joining us, for all our squad mates. Go ahead and come on and say hi really quick. But thank you so much to our patrons.
There she is, the mod extraordinaire.
Oh god, I can't hear anybody.
Thank you so much for our patrons, especially our squadron offers, and our first squadron commander, Tamura Butterman. Yeah. I practiced it so much, I still mispronounced it. But thank you to our very first squadron commander. Check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki, Nicki. But yes,
Anthony Nugent, PC, my friend. We don't do consoles in this house.
Wow.
PC gamers up in here. PC gamers.
Jeez.
So yeah,
bunch of elitists up in here.
Well, he plays PS4 when he plays like Star Wars Fallen Order.
Yeah,
Fallen Order. Yeah, I bought it on PS4. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Oh wait, let me get Ben back in here. What am I doing? Yeah, there we go.
Aw, cute boy.
Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for joining us today on Going Rogue. Ben, again, thank you so much for that. I'm going to have more guests. I'm going to try to get, I think my next target for the stream is probably BC. Not BC. Yeah, BC. Nice. Yeah, because he said he wanted to be on Something. I think the golden right now is obviously Harloff, but I want to try to get Riley, but, he's dealing with certain things right now that I don't want to bother him.
Oh, true.
So, yeah.
You got some bad news.
Yeah. So go over and support everybody on streams. This is a great time to be involved with streamers because you can't leave the house. What else are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, even if you guys don't have funds for Patreon and Streamlabs, and I get it, times are tight. Like the video, share it on Twitter, share it on your social media. Just be in chat. Just like be interactive because that's the best part is seeing people that want to see our content, seeing people interact with us. We want to chat with you. We want to talk with you.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, the Barbarian. That's a good one too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So thank you again so much for joining me and Ben on this episode of Going Rogue every Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Thank you so much again. I said it so many times. Thank you for all the Streamlabs and may the Force be with you. Always.